Say hello to the people, Phil. And welcome back. This is just a show where
Kratos!
This is just a show where you just make me laugh in the intro now. That's all this is.
It's my favorite thing to do.
That's your favorite thing.
Hello!
Alright, hello! Welcome back to After the Hype, our review show for games we play on H.Y.E.P. H.Y.E.P. Have you ever played? Over at twitch.tv/2pennygames.
I wonder what this one could be about.
1 p.m. Central Time. I'm your host, Tavin Bothel, here with my good buddy Phil.
That's
and
me.
If you didn't know, Have You Ever Played? Our show is a show in which me and Phil go live and do our first playthroughs of a game. We show we show a game to the other one that the other has never played before.
Yeah.
For example, this week, I showed Phil God of War 3.
Yeah.
He has never played it before.
I've never played
now
God of War.
He has. Now, before we get into the review, some quick facts, because I like my facts, man. God of War 3 initially released March 16th, 2010, sold nearly 5.2 million copies worldwide by June of 2012, and is sitting at about a 92 on Metacritic. We played the remastered version for PlayStation 4, which came out July 14th, 2015. We did play it on a PlayStation 5, but I don't think that really mattered.
Probably didn't really make that much of a difference because it was
no-
probably just still like PS4.
Yeah, it's just
graphics and
PS4.
stuff.
Yeah, just some backwards compatibility stuff. Anyways, Phil,
Yeah.
I like God of War 3.
Yeah, it's alright.
I think I think it's a fun game. I think it's super solid combat.
I had a good time.
Yeah, definitely entertaining. But I don't think it's like got like the sustenance to like last. And I don't know if I would like call it a masterpiece by any
Good
means.
lord. Middle school type game right
Definitely
there.
some middle school edge boy vibes going on for sure. So overall, you hinted at it a little bit. What did you think of God of War 3?
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate it.
Okay.
I didn't even really. I wouldn't even say I disliked it.
Okay.
I don't know. It was just very of its time.
You think?
Oh, for sure.
Yeah.
That's as far as like the vibe that it gives off.
Oh, for sure.
The gameplay
Very
itself
2010 video game.
Gameplay itself is very like edgelords, like kind of hack and slash Zelda-y kind of. Like it reminds me a lot of like Darksiders.
Okay. Yeah, that makes a little more
And
sense.
Darksiders is basically also Legend of Zelda.
Sure. Yeah. God of War here is just a little more linear, and it's you're picking. But I get what you mean with the combat, and then the acquiring items and new weapons and all of that, and building in that way. I get the comparison and the feeling, the vibes from there. But yeah, I mean, I'm with you. Like God of War, I've played every mainline God of War except for Ascension, and
The prequel.
I think the first 3 games are all pretty much the same game. They do get better over time, but that's mostly just because the devs get better at what they're doing. Their level design gets better. Their obviously like graphics get better. Combat gets tighter. Combos feel more and more powerful as you progress and go through. And I think they nailed the sort of the arc of power as you build Kratos is like the way that the pacing of making Kratos feel more and more like a badass is perfected in 3 compared to 1 and 2. Though it should be said I only played about half of 2, but I played it like right after 1, and I was like, this is the same fucking
unreliable
game.
Source. You should probably just shut your fucking mouth.
Sure. Yeah. But anyways, no, but I like God of War as a franchise, but I don't think it hits any like super meaningful peaks until the most recent God of War 2018 for PlayStation 4, which we will get to soon.
Yes.
Soon. But yeah, overall you felt just kind of it's fine.
Yeah, I mean it was enjoyable.
Yeah. How'd you feel about the combat? Because that's the reason I go to these games.
I enjoyed most of it.
Most of it.
Yes. The only bits that I wasn't. I mean, we'll probably get into bosses later. But like the general combat itself, it was fine. Like I think there are bits and pieces like every game has like difficulty spikes, whatever.
Yeah.
There are just like certain moments where it's like, okay, this is like a real fuck you moment.
Yeah, indeed. There are several of those moments.
and you just kind of just keep beating your head against the wall until you finally pass it.
Yep. The one that comes to mind is when we're in the cube labyrinth
and the Minotaurs
area,
are
and then
slashing at the
Minotaurs, and then the floors coming.
That too.
Oh, you were thinking of when they're fighting the chain.
That too.
Oh, that no. I think of when the spikes are coming
you were
up.
talking
and you're
about
inside
too.
the
Yeah,
cube. You're talking when you're on
that one too.
Earlier on. Yeah. Yeah. Both those moments. Yeah. Those are some fuck you moments. If there's ever a fuck you moment.
For sure. There's a video I watched from a guy called Breadsword, and I can't remember what he called those types of moments where it's like I think they're called like I think he called them like rage gates or something like that.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, where it's like
this is just one just to piss you off
until you finally pass it, and then it's like finally.
And it's not even like a good finally. Like it's fucking finally I'm done. Like
sometimes it is, but sometimes it's not. I think there's certain moments in like all kinds of games from that era that have those where it could literally, it's like a coin flip, whether it's like
they pushed it too far,
whether it's like a relieving kind of like, oh finally, or it's like Jesus, it's
so
about goddamn time, Jesus.
Yeah, right.
It's a coin flip between those two.
That's fair. There's definitely moments in this game. It just feels good. Like every time you do that like combo of like, I think it's like 3 squares and then a triangle and you just bring those blades down hard. It's satisfying every time.
One that's super satisfying for me. I should say two. Two that are super satisfying are when you have the 2 blades and you like spin them around.
Oh, the cyclone is great.
That's
I love
really
the
good.
cyclone.
And then the triple triangle, just like the.
Oh, just smashing them bitches. Yeah.
Cool. It's so cool.
It feels good, man. It feels good. Yeah, and then arguably like from the moment you start the game, you're like, okay, this is the game. Like this is I understand this gameplay, and it's gonna be this. Like they're gonna build on it with some combos, sure, but it's gonna be this for the entire adventure, and it is
with other weapons other than just like the blades.
Yeah, and they'll throw some other weapons at you to give you some different combos and some stuff, but like a different feel.
I'll be honest.
I think we both love the gauntlets you get from Hercules.
Yeah, those are really
feel
good.
Real good and powerful.
I was actually expecting there to be more than just 4.
Really,
and I'm kind of glad there was only 4.
Yeah.
Like I was expecting my inventory. Well, I'm sure you also have like the side weapons, like the bow and arrow. The
little like
you have what's his name?
Apollo.
Is that Apollo? No, it's
Isn't
not. I don't think that's Apollo.
Yeah, Apollo the sun god. Apollo's the sun god.
Is
that
Apollo?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's Apollo. You rip his head off.
Huh.
Yeah, like 90% sure. It's definitely the sun god.
I know it's no, it's it doesn't really matter.
No.
Whatever. But yeah, you have his head, and then you have
and then the boots.
The boots.
Yeah. From Messenger.
So
I forget his name.
Hermes.
Helios
is his name.
Helios?
Yeah.
Oh, who the fuck is Apollo?
Apollo is a different god.
Are you using Apollo's bow? Is it Apollo's bow?
I think it's Apollo's bow.
There we go. There we go. We solved it, ladies and gentlemen.
But no, Helios is the sun god.
Anyways, yeah, and then all those, but those are like quick little like gimmick, like they feel almost like an item as opposed to a weapon. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? In terms of like gamer
against those fucking Minotaurs.
Dude, they fucking kicked out. I had no idea they did that.
Dude, it was so good. On the bit that I was talking about where they're breaking the chain, like you can just spam Helios, and then they'll like backflip off the side of the box.
Oh, I had no idea. I just fought them.
God, no, it was so good.
Oh my god!
But like the weapons were really fun. Like the blades were obviously like the best.
Yeah.
They're like the signature
There's a
weapon,
clear intent of like, hey, we want you to like play with these because they're still cool, but like we don't want to overshadow the blades.
Exactly.
We want you to use the blades.
Yeah.
And I think
so
even
those...
like you feel it in the final fight with Zeus, where you're like, I'm gonna use the blades here.
Yeah, exactly.
Like it only feels right if I use the blades.
Yep. So I did that. I liked the Hades ones okay. I didn't like the like pretty much all the other weapons dashes that they do. The where you flick the right stick and you like dodge out of the way.
Oh yeah.
The only one that was good was the blades one. All the other ones were just like, okay, the Hades ones, like you stab it in the ground and then pull yourself away, and it's like
I see. You're talking the specific like animation.
Yeah.
What did the electric ones do?
I don't remember.
I don't remember either.
I don't remember. Yeah. I remember just like the gauntlets ones being super slow.
Yeah.
Which I guess makes sense because they're like really big and heavy.
They're heavy and big, and
But no, yeah, I really enjoyed. I noticed that I would complain that a certain weapon didn't have it, and then it was there like 2 upgrades later.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
the gauntlets, I was like, oh man, I wish I had like a ground pound like in the air or something like that.
Yeah.
And then like I upgraded it twice, and then I all of a sudden I jump up, hit triangle, and then it pounds down on the ground.
And then there you go.
There it is.
Yeah. They know what you want. And I think the goal of the game is to give you what you want. You know.
Definitely. Also to give like little 13-year-olds what they want, because everything has tits.
Dude, tits everywhere.
Everything has tits.
The fucking sirens have tits. The fucking what are the things that fly that you use to get around?
Oh, the
fucking
Furies or Harpies, whatever they're called.
Furies, whatever they are. They have tits. Like the Gorgons have
Gorgons
tits.
have
Everybody's
tits.
got fucking tits.
It's so,
And they're all out, and
Ugh.
it's just like, why? What is the point of this? And then just the most egregious sex scenes in
Oh
games.
my God.
Oh my god! Just why are these here?
I went back and did it again,
Yeah,
and
you
like
did
it was
it again.
glitched. It was glitched. Like the one lady wasn't there, and then they would talk, and then the other lady would like move her mouth, and nothing would come out.
Yeah,
Like
yeah.
it was glitched.
That was the funniest thing
I don't know what was happening.
That was hilarious. That was hilarious. What I love is that you failed that time because we were laughing so hard at the
Yeah,
glitch,
yeah.
and then you did it again and it was still glitched.
Yeah, it didn't fix itself. Jesus.
Oh my god. Oh, it's good. But you know,
And then you
It's
free
just-
that
it's just-
Poseidon princess, whatever, and you put her up against the
oh my
wheel.
god, that's probably the most egregious part of the game to me. Is like it's just like we're just throwing this woman around. She's got her tits
Yeah.
out. She's screaming. She's scared, and it just feels dirty.
It just feels mean.
It feels dirty and mean, and then like you literally just use her to hold up a thing, and then she gets crushed, and it's gross. Ugh, nah, definitely of a different era in games where like to be mature, they thought they just had to like throw a bunch of curse words and blood and guts and tits at you, and you're like, we can be a little better than this. Like there were even examples of games being better than this. Metal Gear, I think, is not like a perfect example, but a better example.
Yeah, with Eva having her tits out all the time.
Yeah, but like Eva's got a character, you know, and her tits are out for a reason. Like it's
part of her character.
it's a very thin veiled excuse to just
window
have tits out.
is
But,
clearly a satire on sexualization in gaming.
but like that's a better example of maturity in this era of games. And you can even see that level of maturity fail
yeah.
just a few years later down the line with Metal Gear Solid 5 with Quiet, like to which everyone goes, Kojima, if you just want her tits out, just say you want her tits out.
Take
Like
them out.
you don't need to, you don't have to explain, it's part of her deep
Oh no, she wears it like this because
Dark
her past.
backstory. Ugh, God, it's so gross. And then she dances in the rain, dude. Ugh. Anyways, you haven't seen that, but
No, I
you
haven't.
should look it up later.
I'm good.
Yeah, it's very inappropriate. So yeah, I think God of War 3 lands right on that cusp of gaming where like this is still like okay, but like it's going to be very soon not okay.
Yeah.
Like
Wait a couple years and then you try to bring this out again. And
yeah,
it would not.
It doesn't work, and I think that's
not
why
go anything.
we get such a tonal shift in
With,
the next game.
with 2018.
Granted, 8 years difference. Everyone's grown up and changed, and the landscape of gaming as a whole is different.
Was it 2018 or 2016?
2018.
2018.
2018. That was a tough year. Red Dead, Spider-Man.
Yeah, a lot of
God of War.
competitors for Game of the Year.
Yeah, those are some heavy.
It was
heavy
ended up being
hitters.
God of War, wasn't it?
God of War for the Keeleys. Yes, sir. Rightfully so, I would say. But you'll be able to
I'll
form
get
your
there.
opinion soon.
For me, I'd probably say Red Dead. I really like Red Dead.
Objectively, yeah, Red Dead would be a close second. I mean, it was a toss-up. Like everyone was sitting there, was like, it's either God of War
It was
or it's
also
Red Dead.
wasn't it like different parts of the year too? Like Red Dead was like early. Red Dead was like
God of War
February.
was early. God
Was
of War
it?
was, I want to say, was Marchish.
Yeah.
And then Red Dead, wasn't Red Dead summery? Like more summer?
I thought Red Dead was like February.
I couldn't tell you. I just don't remember. Anyways, we digress.
Yeah.
Back to God of War 3. Let's talk about some of these boss fights, bro.
Yeah. You got the opening one with Poseidon.
Yeah, which I should say, I'll put a pause right here. The main reason we jumped straight to 3, we didn't play the entire series, is one, they're all the fucking same. So might as well play the one with the tightest combat.
The objectively best one.
The objectively best one, we really just need it for background so that Phil understood the difference between this
Where
then,
it was and then where
and
it
then
is
where
now.
it goes, exactly. And then how we can use that insight to feed into who Kratos becomes and his son's character and all of that.
Boy.
But this one's got the tightest combat. It's got the coolest set pieces. It's got the most notable boss fights in terms of like a name, god, like stuff like you're fighting like really minor gods.
I mean,
in 1 and 2.
You literally fight the big three in this one. You fight Hades, Poseidon, and Zeus.
And Zeus, you know.
Granted, Poseidon goes down like a little bitch.
He does go. You know, and then it's, you know, the Hermes and the
Helios.
You know, they're there too. And those are notable ones. Aphrodite is here. But you know, like in the first one, like the only god you fight is Ares.
It's the only god you fight in the first one?
Only god you fight in the first one.
Damn.
Yeah. Everything else, they're just big monsters. You know? And then 2, it's a lot more like big monsters and then like some like monsters with names. Like these are lieutenants and then, you know, a god or 2 or whatever. But this one, it's just like, all right, we're wiping out.
Like what gods do you kill into?
I don't remember.
You don't know?
I don't.
Well, granted, you did only play half of it.
Yeah, I did only play half of it. There's a boss fight where you fight a centaur with a big spear. And I got past that one and I put it down and I said, you know what? I've had enough. Because it was back to back.
Could be Chiron.
Something like that. I don't fucking remember. I got to the
There's a centaur with a bow.
I got to the notable bit where it's the big horses and shit. If you played the game, you know what I'm talking about. But anyways. This one I just like. I mean, the Poseidon fight, I think, you know, you weren't super into it in the moment, but I think it's great spectacle to kick off.
No, it's I feel like this game was nothing but spectacle.
It's a lot of spectacle.
Not a whole lot of substance.
Yeah. And I feel like now that we've played it, we can sort of like see the difference between what a set piece meant in gaming pre and post Uncharted, where like this one, it was like, okay, camera zooms out, we see the big thing move, and then we zoom back in and it's back to gameplay.
See the big thing move, maybe do a QTE.
Yeah, exactly. You know, whereas like Uncharted, it's like, hey man, you got to time, like,
hey, you're running through this building, falling down.
Yeah, it's falling down, and you got to time this jump or else it's over. Like, and it's you in game, and you're shooting bad guys as shit is falling apart and stuff. Like that kind of became the standard post Uncharted.
Apparently, there's some stuff like that in the Guardians of the Galaxy game.
I would believe it. That would make sense.
Yeah,
it's exciting. I'm hearing good things about it.
Yeah, me too.
Not like phenomenal things, but everyone's like,
it's
hey,
reviewing really well. I'm pretty excited to play it.
Everyone is
I think that's what I'm gonna start playing next.
I'm gonna play it when I go to Florida in December.
Nice. Okay.
You know.
Anyway, so Poseidon, yeah, it's fine.
Poseidon.
We're just talking about set pieces.
Yeah, and it's really just meant to tutorialize you of like, hey man, let's give Poseidon these big obvious like moves of like, hey, he's gonna stab the ground when he does this, like just so that you can get accustomed to the language of the game. You know, we're not gonna throw anything too mechanically complicated at you. Just punch the big fucking water horse. Until
crab horse.
Until you know we say you're done.
Do you think it was a play on horseshoe crab?
No, but that would be funny. It wouldn't like 100% surprise me. That was a risky move, uncorking the water bottle and then
under the wire,
pulling it under the wire.
I think you'll find I made it in right under the wire.
Right. Yeah. What you know about some Kanye West Through the Wire?
How about The Wire on HBO?
There you go. All right. Anyways, Poseidon is a fine starter fight, and then I believe it's right after that it's Hades.
Is that right after that?
It ain't, yeah, because you go to the underworld, river Styx, and then you die.
I think you're right. Yeah, you're right.
And then to get out, you need the soul of a god.
That's crazy that it jumps from one of the big three straight to the other one.
To the other big three, and then you don't fight the third one.
And then you don't fight until the end. Yeah.
Yeah, and then, you know, Hades, which is a much more mechanically dense fight in comparison to Poseidon.
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, you're ripping off his nipples.
That's so brutal.
His meaty bits of his body.
So brutal.
And then you gotta defend you gotta keep the chicken nugget from getting back to his body or something.
You're just fighting a piece of meat that was Hades. And then it's like, all right, when he does this, it's a wave attack, so I got to jump over the wave of damage.
And then when he does this big like charge up spike move, where he only leaves one spot.
Yeah, let me get over there, or it's like, oh, okay, he's about to like do like a huge area of effect here. Let me swing over behind him. Real quick. I liked
that. I thought that was kind of cool.
All of that works for me at all.
I also liked the tug of war thing. That you were doing.
Oh yeah. That's like one of those spectacle moments where it's like, okay, let's make you feel like a badass as you pull this giant behemoth of a god into the river Styx. Like.
That was pretty neat.
Definitely very neat, dude. This game, speaking of like you're just tearing flesh off of Hades, just tearing him apart. And this game is brutal. And like the parts that get me aren't like the moments where it's like, okay, let's like plunge plunge our thumbs into Poseidon's eyes, or let's rip off
God,
Helios's head. Like, sure, like those are nasty and brutal, or like let's punch Zeus until our screen is nothing but blood.
I did that for a while.
You did that for a while. But like, it's like the first time I think when I played the game, the first time I was like, oh fuck, that's nasty. Is the first time you fight a centaur and you do the finishing move on the centaur, and you just gut hit and it just hits intestines flying out.
Yeah.
The first time that happened, I went, fuck. Okay, here we go.
I like when you cut the Gorgon's head off and then she does the scream and everyone turns to stone.
Dude, and then when you're pulling the Gorgon towards you and she's trying to get away and you're just stabbing her and like pulling
and then
her
you're holding her by her
oh.
snake hair and then you cut her head off.
It's just so nasty. And then like, and then there's just more nastiness from there to go. But all that's great. And then from Hades, we take a break from some of the bigger fights, and we're fighting, just like a bunch of different.
I think
like,
after Hades, it's Helios, right?
Monsters. I believe it is Helios, which isn't really a boss fight. It's just a get to him bit, and then
get his head.
You get blinded for a little bit, whatever.
You have to hold your hand out in front of his
There's
face.
at Hermes. Am I missing one?
After Helios?
Yeah.
I think there was something else.
We fight big shit in this game, right? Like there's like big there's a big scorpion thing.
You cut off Gaia's hand, but you don't really
that's
like
not
fight
a
her.
Fight. Yeah, that's not a fight. It's just I think it's just a lot of big spectacle moments to like kind of fill in the gaps between these more mechanically dense
just
boss
running
fights.
around and fighting shit.
And then they'll throw like just some like a giant enemy at you every so often.
I liked the big scorpion fight. That's after Hercules though.
Hercules is the next one. I like Hercules. Hercules is one of my
okay.
is one of my favorite ones in the game. There's just something about it, man. Just fighting a big brute guy, just taking him down. Throwing him into the walls and spikes.
I could have taken or left that one.
To take it or leave it with that one.
Yeah,
that's fair. I'm not gonna judge you. The scorpion is one that I totally forgot until it was coming up, and someone in our chat was like, "Hey, he's only got the scorpion and then Zeus," and I was like, "Oh fuck, that's right, the scorpion."
I like the scorpion fight a lot.
The scorpion like worked. It's as you were fighting him, I was like, "Oh, that's right. This is the gimmick of the fight that you gotta take the legs out."
It was weird that like there was that one thing on the right side and it just wasn't working for some reason. So I was like, okay, I guess I have to be on this.
Yeah,
side.
it was like a thing of like they want you to like take down the legs in a balanced way. They don't want you to like just take out one side and then take out the other side. It's like take two over here, then two over there, and then we'll move on. It just took us a minute to realize that. I think the reason I didn't like the scorpion is it's in my least favorite like level, which is that labyrinth of cubes.
Labyrinth.
Where it's just, like that, just to me, it just felt like it dragged on for fucking ever. And maybe it's because it's like you spend a lot of time in there and then you leave and then you come back to it and spend even more time there. And then like the entire like bit where you're dragging Pandora around, it's still fucking there. Like you're just there for so long.
I didn't like that.
Yeah. I didn't hate the Pandora bit, but like it definitely frustrated me and annoyed me.
Yeah.
But and then finally there's that the big boy Zeus himself. I think you're hard pressed to find a better fight in the game, personally.
Yeah, I mean it was really good. It was good old like 3 or 4 phases, something like that.
Yeah, something like that. They're all mechanically different from each other, but none of them are like weak.
I thought it was interesting that like the first 2 phases were like side scrolly.
Yeah, they put you on that
2D plane,
2D-esque plane, which is
a tricky
thing to do.
I was playing Metroid.
Yeah, it's a tricky thing to do when you're like, oh man, you're in a 3D game, and then you restrict it to a 2D. Like you can very quickly like lose people there mechanically.
Jarring is the wrong word, but when we went from 2D to 3D, I was like, oh shit, I'm back in the game again. I was like, oh, I felt like I felt like I'd gotten too used to the 2D plane.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh shit, we're back in the 3D.
Yeah. And then I remember struggling with that first Zeus bit just because I was going in blind. I was also at the end of a long play session. It was late at night, so I wasn't like at...
Keep on making excuses, Tavin. Keep on making... It's fine.
Just
go ahead.
He was whipping my butt a little bit. But then, I came back the next day and I got him in like 2 tries. And I was like, all right, cool. Now we're moving on. We're getting to the end here. And then... but, with you... a little more easier. It wasn't fucking 2 a.m.
Yeah, right.
You had me there where I was like, hey man, just focus on like his patterns right now, and like, I'd type of show be like, hey man, I had more success just doing mostly heavy attacks and shit, like, and so on and so forth. And then like once you get past that 2D bit, it's a pretty normal boss fight, like in terms of difficulty. The hardest bit is that 2D bit.
Yeah.
And then from there, it's just a matter of
just do damage, and then when the circle goes over his head, you just go get him again.
Yeah, and then just don't fuck up. type stuff. But yeah, I love Zeus. I love each of its phases. I love like we incorporate Gaia into it to like get some of that big gigantic set piece action that God of War became known for at that period of time.
Yeah, it got really tense whenever he had like all those fucking clones, and I would have to do like the cyclone and
shit,
like,
and just
repeatedly
to back
over
them
and
off and stuff, and then to that balance of guy attacking Gaia's heart to get some health and like stopping him from doing the same thing. Yeah, it's good stuff, man. It's just really fun.
I was basically trying to focus the clones so they would refill my magic, so I could do the Spartan rain or whatever.
Yeah. That thing does work.
Yeah,
that thing does work. And then obviously, like the entire trilogy up to this point is building to your fight with Zeus, and in 2 there is a fight with Zeus, and you're winning, and then Athena gets in the way, and yada yada yada. Anyways,
I think if there's only one thing that I could really complain about, I wish that the Spartan Rage button was more of like a win button. Like there was moments where I figured this would do way more, and it's like. Yeah,
I think that's just
it didn't feel as satisfying as I wanted it to.
Well, I think as you get closer to the end, it becomes less effective. Or it's not that they're like making it less effective. It's just that everything else is so powerful that they're starting to become on par with the Spartan Rage stuff. You're gonna enjoy what they do with Spartan Rage in the next game.
Okay.
Quite a bit, because there's no way you like you turn that on, you feel good. Like there's no other way to like have that.
It also it's like a different. It's not like a set camera. Like you move the camera in.
No, they bring the camera in. Kratos takes up a lot of the screen.
I was gonna say like it's way less of him being like an ant on the screen.
Yeah,
and like it's more just like behind over his shoulder.
And then there's a lot they have to do with it because like it's still like you're so surrounded by enemies, and having the camera that close, like there's some mechanical challenges to that, and I think they pull it off pretty damn well. They give you enough UI to be able to assess every situation, and then they give you enough, like, Atreus will drop a voice like, behind you, and stuff like, to let you know, okay, something's coming, like, we're about to get hit or something. But, we'll get to that when we get to that. And then, personally, as a critique, like, at the end, where we're in Kratos' head, and we're learning to fight with hope, or whatever, instead of anger, it just doesn't work, man. It's just not, it feels like a 2000s video game way of trying to be deep, and you're not deep. Like you're not. Like
you're God of War.
You're God of War, and that's really just it. But overall, I think God of War, at least with these early trilogy of games, I think they're really fun games. They're not by any means masterpieces in my mind, but they're certainly worth playing. Definitely wouldn't recommend like playing them back to back or anything. Yeah, they are the same game. Like you are doing the same things.
You're gonna wear yourself out.
Yeah, you just wear yourself out. But every couple of years you'd be like, I'm just in the mood to kick some ass. Like let me load up a God of War real quick and let me just like fuck around with that. They're definitely games that I want to go back and platinum each one of them. So definitely enjoyable.
Tavin, seal of approval right there.
Seal of approval. We like to do little scores at the end here just because it's a little fun. Just a nice little end cap for our overall review. God of War 3 remastered. 6.5 for you.
6.5.
Oh man, it was a hard 6.5. You didn't had no hesitation, no thought.
Yeah.
For me, at its best, it's an 8, but it's not always at its best. So overall, I think like 7.5 for me. I just think the mechanics are just so much fun. The combat is just so much fun. But yeah, it's not like the deepest of experiences, especially narratively, where you're
it was a positive experience. But,
it's a positive experience, and it feels good to play. But it's not like you. It's very rare where I'm itching to be like, man, I gotta go back. I gotta go back and play that game. But watching you play, I was like, man, this game's fun. Like I wouldn't mind loading this up myself and playing in my own free time. But anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that is gonna be it for your After the Hype review of God of War 3. Remember, you can catch us playing video games live over at twitch.tv/2pennygames.
Every Tuesday. 1 p.m. Central.
1 p.m. Central. Come watch us. I believe by the time you're hearing this, we should be either like knee deep into Jack 3, or we might have already been moving on to the next game for Phil, but we'll figure that out.
We'll figure it out.
If you want to catch previous reviews, they're all up. We're at youtube.com/2pennygamescast. We just recently did Resident Evil 2 remake. Just recently did Jack 2. Go check those out and see our opinions about those and how they stand up in the modern day. Well, I guess Resident Evil 2 is a modern game, but anyways, And until next time, have a good time. And Phil, say goodbye to the people.
See ya.